Welcome back to Rapid Flow. Today I'm going to be showing you all of the gear that I use to create Rapid Flow videos. This is a video gear video. We're going to be looking at DSLR cams, USB 4K webcams, lights, sliders, which is why this camera is moving around, stands, capture devices, OBS, all of this stuff. So if you want to make your own YouTube videos or stream your sessions from the studio, this video is for you. Had I known how great the quality is of these, I may not have gotten a bunch of used DSLRs. They're really good. This is like a little secret insider tip, whatever, proven, works amazing. Okay, so let's dive in. Let me show you the video gear that I use to make all of our videos. And I should point out that my goal with this always is to try to find gear that performs really well without breaking the bank. A lot of people on YouTube use like Sony FX30, or there's like a whole bunch of like cameras that are incredible, but they're like 3K just for the body and then another 1,000 for the lens. That's not me. I'm too much of an audio nerd to spend that much money on video equipment. So to begin, the first thing, the main cameras that I'm using, and it's actually the one that's mounted on this slider, is the Olympus OMD1 Mark II, which you can see in the front here. And the lens I'm using with this is a zoom lens called the 1240 Pro. There's also like a semi-pro line of Olympus. I would not recommend that. I would recommend exactly this because it's really practical to be able to zoom stuff in the studio if you want to like capture a synth more cleanly. And because you can get this camera and this lens very often in a combination between 500 and 800 USD. And I know that's a lot of money, but if you know what DSLRs cost that are capable of doing 4K video streaming without anything superimposed to like a clean 4K video stream like you're seeing here now, then this is actually a really good deal, and you can get these used all over the place. They're built like a tank. They're really, really good. In order to get these to work, you need to send its HDMI signal into your computer, and what I use for these is the Camlink 4K by Elgato. The camera you can buy used. This thing, don't buy it used, because these things kind of burn up. They get super hot and you're gonna want to have warranty. I've had to send in like 2 of these already. So just grab this one new and then you'll be fine. You have like a 1 or 2 year warranty. Really good little device. You can just like throw them around your studio and have them running, capturing your video. Before we get going, if you like the kick drums you're hearing, you can grab them below. There's a link to all of our melodic techno kick drum, analog kick drums, as well as my signature kick drums. They're free, yours to have. Check the link, enjoy. The thing that separates beginners from more experienced people when it comes to video is mostly, including me, you tend to think I need better cameras, better lenses to get better images. This is not true. What you need is light, my friend. Check out what this scene looks like if I switch off my main key light that I'm using above my head. You ready? I mean, it's still sharp and everything, but you can't see anything, right? And if you're using a good light like this, it has the possibility to tune the temperature of the light to your camera. And a very important point, something that I did not know initially. Thank you, Federico Ora Music, to letting me in on this secret, because his videos look sick. And I was like asking him, hey man, help me out. Like, what am I doing wrong? So yes, daylight is 4,800 kelvins, and you want to tune all of your cameras to that manual white balance. And then you want your light to be set to that as well. Then basically you're not going to look ghostly or sickly or like you had a sunburn on camera. Look at that. Or for example, this is too cold light. You see that? This is like 6,000. This is 4,800 Kelvin. And this is like the natural temperature. If your cameras are set to that, then everything will fit together. This light that I'm showing you on the screen now is by Newer. It's got the possibility to be remote controlled, which is great from an app, and you can set the temperature, which is essential. It doesn't do colors, it's just a color light, a white color light. And on top of it, I have this Newer honeycomb thing to be able to direct the light to only hit me here and not like spread over the whole studio, which would destroy my beautiful LED colors things that we have going on, which I'm going to also show you how I make it. Oh, very important, I forgot to put it on this presentation, but I bought an extra heavy duty light stand for this. It's like a kind of like a mic stand, but just bigger, taller, absolutely worth it so that your light isn't at risk of falling over. If you use like a cheapo light stand with it, that's not going to end well. These are the LED lights that I use in my studio. They're from a company called Amaran, which is actually a very high-grade camera light and equipment company. These cost about 120 bucks each, which is not cheap, but they can do multiple colors, as you can see now in my studio, but they can also do white light, which is super cool because that means you can actually, in a pinch, also use these to light up your studio with like normal colors. I'm going to move it now to actually become standard lights. Check that out. You see that? So now I can make the light very cold in the studio, very warm, or I can set it to 4800 Kelvin, which would be like balanced daylight type colors. But you can also, of course, tweak each individual light how you want it, and then create yourself like a nice, lighting setup that will potentially look nice on camera. It's super easy, really nice to have all that on an app also. Now you can get these kinds of things from like Philips and stuff, Hue Light and stuff. I think this is way better because it runs on batteries, it's magnetic, it has a camera mount, you can do like proper video style light with it with the correct Kelvin white balance settings. It charges off of USB-C. You need a strong USB-C brick to keep it charged because it uses a lot of power, but you can dim it and everything. They're awesome. These are super great lights. I have 4 of them lighting up the whole studio. Now, the other thing that I have hanging out in the corners here behind the bass traps are IKEA LED strips, which I control either with this little thing or with Alexa, who I can tell to switch on and off my studio lights. Let's see if this works. Alexa, Studiolicht aus. There you go. You see how that little strip over here went off? That's because that's connected. Alexa, Studiolicht an. I've trained my Alexa to be German. Okay, so this is the strips. They're relatively affordable. They're like 40 bucks. Comes with a little power supply, but if you want to be able to control it, you also need the hub. That little hub that you see is what allows it to interact with Wi-Fi and through that Alexa, but also through the remote. Okay, let's keep going. What else we got on the list? Okay, of course, I'm capturing all of this stuff with OBS Studio. This is OBS Studio, which is honestly a bit of a nightmare to learn. Like it took me as long as learning a DAW almost. I'm using version 29 on an M1 Mac because later versions seem to have some weird memory leak that completely destabilized my system. In essence, what you do is you set up scenes where you can select your cams. You add the audio to it. In my case, I'm using a mic and audio from the DAW. I'm recording that to separate tracks so that my video editor, Leon, can mix the levels and stuff properly later. And yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. If you want to know this, I'll do a separate video on OBS because it is a bit of a nightmare to get all of this stuff to work correctly. Tripods, not to be underestimated. I mostly use tripods from Manfrotto. And by the way, I bought all of the stuff except for the cables and the USB dongles used. So for example, the Manfrotto video stand that you see here, it's pretty expensive new, but I bought it used. And the reason why I would recommend you to get good camera stands is because otherwise your nice DSLR at some point will fall over and it'll be a nightmare. It'll definitely break the lens, the mount, all of that stuff. You don't want to risk that happening. I use this for the one mobile camera that I have here so that I can move stuff around and zoom in on a video. I mean, let me show you how good the video quality is. I use manual settings, but I do use autofocus to just be able to cleanly focus stuff. You see that? It's super clean. And this is why it's so nice, I think, to have zoom lenses because, yeah, you can be much more flexible with what you're doing in the studio. There's also these little ones which I use kind of for backup situations. For example, on the back here, I have a smaller one that's pointing over some synths there. Can I show it to you? Yeah, exactly. This has a round ball head, which is super practical because you can move the camera in any kind of angle, which makes it way easier to get a straight angle on something like that. Then there's these really nice little portable ones with like a little manual grip, which was what I take when I'm traveling. That's a great little thing. I can highly recommend it. It's surprisingly stable. It has a round head, detachable, blah, blah, blah. It's super light. I like to use this one a lot also. And what I've seen now is that there's actually also new systems where you have like a crossbar so you can easier film stuff from above, which if you're going to be doing tutorials on gear and synths and stuff. Oh, webcams. Yeah, this is actually, if the DSLR route is too crass for you and you're like, no man, I'm not going to spend that much, I want to buy audio gear, these things are sick. And I use the Insta360 2C without all of this rotating mount stuff, because I'm not doing like video conferencing, walking, pointing to whiteboard stuff. It's stationary. I have two of these. The picture you're seeing right now is being captured by one of these. It's a little bit pixelated because it's zoomed in so that I have a cleaner frame. But actually, let me show you how great these USB cameras film and look. And this is like $120 4K USB webcam, which, yeah, considering that it's actually reasonably affordable, I think it does an amazing job at capturing the studio. And the big advantage these guys have is that the video stream they send to your computer is not as hardcore as the stuff that you would get from that little USB stick Camlink thing, which sends like 100 Mbit uncompressed video stream. This is pre-compressed, so it'll tax your system less. If you want to like not tax your system too much, I think getting a couple of these Insta360 2C cams is a great way to go. Had I known how great the quality is of these, I may not have gotten a bunch of used DSLRs. They're really good. This is like a little secret insider tip, whatever, proven, works amazing. The quality is amazing. It's got a good little mic in it and stuff, great for web conferencing also. Okay, audio. As musicians, and you know, because we want this stuff to sound good, of course, we're not going to use like, you know, some room mic or some cheesy webcam mic if we can avoid it. What I use is an older version of this Rode system, which I bought like maybe, I don't know, 4 years ago or something. They have the disadvantage that they don't have an SD card slot, so I can't make a backup audio recording on these, which would be super nice. I've lost sometimes things when I wasn't tracking audio correctly, but other than that, these things are pretty reliable. I have two sets of these so that when one is empty, the other one has been charging and I can swap them out. But the modern ones now, they combine like two transmitters into one receiver, which may have some advantages for you or not. I prefer to have my backup like fully dedicated separate so that if one of these parts dies, I'll still have a backup. And very importantly, like I see a lot of people use these by clipping the mic kind of to their t-shirt like that and stuff, which I guess I'm sure it works fine as well. But since I'm an audio engineer and I was trained on this stuff, like the way for me to do this was to use a lavalier mic, which is what you can see over on the right here. In essence, it's like a little clip mic that you can see now. See that? It's this little foamy thing here, and I send the input or the output from this system into my audio interface, and I pick up that channel in OBS separately. I record it separately so that we have possibilities to mix the audio later. Very important point, don't underestimate the importance of audio quality for your video. People will deal with bad-ish video quality, but they will not deal with bad audio quality. If they can't understand what you're saying, they will jump off your video. So definitely invest in some sort of a little mic if you're planning to do this a bit more full on and talk on YouTube videos. I see a lot of people using like some big, you know, like mic, USB condenser mic, whatever on their table, which I've tried to do once and it was a disaster because every time I moved my head or moved over to a piece of gear, of course, the recording sounded really different. So I don't use those at all unless I'm doing a post-recording voiceover on like a track in an hour video, because it does sound a little bit better, but not much. You can EQ these to be really nice. Now, the reason why one of my cameras here is moving is because it's on a so-called slider. These are relatively cheap. I think I paid about $200 for the one you see on screen now. It's from a company called Great Video Maker. I purposely picked the one that has a dedicated remote, not an iOS app, because I figured that way it would live longer. And this one has the nice function also that it can kind of pan and stay focused when it's moving around. Like you can tweak it. It's very simple kind of physical system. But yeah, it adds a lot. As a guy I know once said, slider guile, which is like, yeah, it's nice to have a slider. It makes things a bit, it keeps kind of movement in your shot. And it's, since I'm like a one-man show when I'm in the studio here mostly, it's nice to have some movement in some shots. There is one thing I haven't actually shown you, which is this slider, or sorry, the camera on this slider actually has a so-called mist filter on it. Let me just take it off for a sec to show you. This is what this shot looks like without this mist filter. So it's very clean, it's very sharp, it's like nice to see the gear, but like, you know, if like you're having a bad day or you're tired or something, your whole face will just look a little bit rougher, and it makes kind of the vibe also. Let me show you with and without. It just kind of makes the vibe a little bit more moody, dreamy, it softens your skin, and like the 4K resolution, super hardcore kind of capture that these cameras do, it kind of deals with that. But I only use it on this cam that I talked to, because on this cam where, you know, we're going to get into all of the audio nerdery, I want my viewers to have a really sharp picture that's not blurred out by a mist filter. Very useful tool in the studio, magnifying glass. I use this pretty often these days. So I'm using a 1/4 mist filter, just checked on this. The cables I recommend you grab are these DelayCon 5 meter. They're on Amazon for like $12. These I've tested, they work really well with these setup of these OMD cameras and those CamLink cards. I would not recommend you to get the braided kind of fabric, plastic fabric ones. They break really fast, they get stuck on everything. These are just rubbery and they're really good. And they haven't failed on me yet. The other ones failed on me often. Very important point, if you're going to be doing all of this stuff, you need to access multiple Thunderbolt inputs on your Mac, assuming that you have a Mac. If you try to put all of this on one hub into one cable on your Mac will choke because it's way too much data. Like you're sending in 300 Mbit if you're using, like me, 3 cameras on sliders or whatever. With the CamLink USB, you're just sending in way too much data. So I'm using all 3 ports on my Mac, and the cameras are kind of spread out in a magical balance where they all work. And if I switch around too many of them, some of them start freezing and the frame rate starts to drop and stuff. So I use primarily this big CalDigit Thunderbolt 4 dock, which my monitors are connected to, my audio interface is connected to, and a couple of other things. And I use 2 of these Anchor hubs that I've proven to be really reliable, the USB 3 hubs. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like right now they're in production, but yeah, I recommend the Anchor stuff, absolutely. If you're going to grab powered hubs, and then yeah, you need to get powered hubs. Don't get like cheesy little dongle hubs because they don't do a good job. You need powered hubs. The Anchor stuff is solid. I've tried the Electron Overhub, even with a power adapter that I sourced for it, which was a nightmare to find one that fits. They are not reliable. They will crash. I think they're great if you're running Electron devices, but they are not good for doing this kind of complex stuff. And then the last thing, which I forgot to put on the presentation, but which is pretty standard, I have this little Stream Deck XL. I think it's like the V2. And in essence, what you do is you install a plugin for OBS, and then this thing allows you to switch scenes on this setting of OBS so that you can show people different parts of your studio, for example. I mean, you can do a lot with these, but this is what I mostly use it for. Yeah, that's it. That is the video setup of RapidFlow and everything I can tell you that I know right now about cameras and lights and the importance of lights. The way I designed this studio is everything is white, and I just kind of tweak it to taste with the colors of these Amran lights and the IKEA lights, which, you know, considering they're that cheap, they do add a lot of vibe, I think. I have 1, 2, 3 of those strips, plus one above my head actually, which is kind of nice. It adds a bit of kind of, you know, light from the top when I don't have this big white light, key light on all the time because it's a bit bright. So if you want to get into streaming your production, your live sets, or just also maybe get into YouTubing, which is definitely, I think, a fun thing to do and great for discovery, yeah, then now you know everything I know. So I hope that this was helpful and that it helps other producers out there. Are you already streaming? What are you using? Do you have some tips of some other stuff that could be super cool to share with people? If you want me to do a dedicated video on OBS and the nightmare that is getting that all set up, let me know and I'll make it. And yeah, that's it for me today. I hope this video is helpful. As always, if you got something from this video and you care to subscribe or share this video or like or notifications, all that stuff. You know what, I haven't really asked people to do this stuff a lot because I figure if you like this video, you're going to subscribe and like it anyway. But apparently it's a thing, it helps your growth and what, I don't know. I find it super tedious when people say that. So should I stop saying that? Should I just assume people will like and subscribe if they like the video, which is how I used to operate? Let me know, because I'm happy to actually stop saying that because it's wasted airtime, right? Okay, so have a great one. I hope you're now all set up if you want to get into this streaming thing on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy. Bye-bye.